I would like to welcome all of the attendees in the commission.
Thank you.
I would like to also ask everybody to make sure their cell phones are turned off. Oh, this is painful with nobody here. We will start off with roll call of the regular meeting since we have no public hearing tonight. Commissioner Tallman.
Schneider.
Here.
Lammerts.
Present.
Med.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Tallman here. Ingram.
Present.
Connell's excused. Hepner.
Here.
Bransgard.
Here.
Reinhardt and Manus are also excused. We have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Tallman. Report of City Council activity.
Nothing to report there. Moving on to the comp plan committee, I'll let you lead the agenda.
Whoa,
Maybe
you're
I'll have a few
way out of order here. We're skipping over the secretary's report, and maybe there's a
Oh.
question. I have Commissioner Lammers would like to speak.
My breach of protocol.
Yes.
Not to prolong this long meeting, but I did not understand what the, under A, the summary of May 22nd, 2019 City Council meeting, second paragraph. Please note that there were amendments made at the third meeting to temporarily reduce transparency requirements for single-family residents and to temporarily prohibit pole barn type garages in residential districts. I wasn't sure what that was saying to us.
I would be happy to respond to that.
Thank you.
We sent the first batch of, I'll say, corrections, revisions to the zoning ordinance forward from the commission and the council level. Council was still dealing with a few things that were made apparent to them. The one thing related to the transparency requirements is that the Home Builders Association had an issue with the requirement that 15% of the front elevation be glass. They thought that was too high. We've had a number of meetings with them, and I think we're all on the same page. What we want to do is we want to avoid a monotonous, basically first impression, if you will, from the street on new homes. But is it strictly a matter of dealing with the 15% glass? We think there's probably other ways to do that. So what we've done in the interim is we've actually reduced that down to 5%. But with the understanding from the Home Builders Association that maybe we will develop a kind of a point system. Maybe you do less glass, but more brick or more ornamentation might offset the glass, or you may want to go ahead and just meet that 15%. So that's under development. The other thing, and this came up actually quite late in the process, was a requirement to prohibit pole barns as for garages in residential districts. I can tell you we've gotten a lot. That's not prohibited by the ordinance until this was passed. I can tell you we're getting more and more of these requests, and whether or not that's the right thing to do or something else. We have the prohibition in there now, but again, as we look at further refinements to the ordinance, I think we'll come back and look at pole barn type construction as a ways to mitigate that through design standards. That may be ornamentation, brick, windows, not sure, but that will probably be coming back as well.
So will it temporarily eventually go away then?
I can't predict, but currently you cannot build a pole barn type structure as a garage in a residential district.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So the term transparency truly is in regard to use of glass as opposed to transparency of regulations or compliance or whatever. It truly has to do with
It is
glass.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. No more questions? Move on to Secretary's report.
Move the report.
All in favor of the report as printed, signify by aye. Opposed? It will remain as stated. Comp plan. Matt, what's new?
may,
Oh,
you probably.
wait,
are-
I know.
Hold on.
It's me again.
We got Commissioner Lammers.
You might have a date correction there, because it says May 14th, 3019. Oh. Thank you.
3019, correct. We do have a date correction. Okay. Well, do we need to vote again? We have no legal counsel, so I'll forego voting again.
You're not voting again? I would
No.
treat that as a scrivener's error. That's a classic scrivener's.
Okay, well then,
Obviously, we're
all,
not talking
all in favor of the revised secretary's report, including the amended date, signify by aye. Opposed? We're good. Carry on. I see nobody else that wants to speak but you.
Well, it is all about me. No, as far as the comp plan committee, maybe put this into the future business category, but, you know, we've kind of treated this time maybe to talk about the zoning ordinance, what's happening there. We are hoping that our next batch of text amendments will be initiated with a public hearing at your July 2nd meeting. One of the things we're going to be looking at, and we need to address procedurally, is there's been a request to do some selective downzoning in the Rockingham corridor, namely from C2 back down to C1. Question is do we need to treat each one of those as I'll say a regular rezoning with notices and public meetings and signs and things like that? So we're trying to get some clarification from legal on that. Stay tuned. There'll probably be more changes this time than there were 3 months ago, and I'd love to say we would have less, but I think it's more important that we're finding things that need to be addressed immediately.
Thank you, Matt. Commissioners, any questions? Seeing none. We do not have any zoning activity tonight, but we do have one item in subdivision. Commissioner Johnson.
This evening we have a request F19-10 of Dan Gunstein for final plat WK First Edition on 1.71 acres, being a replat of portions of Westland and Georgetown Square additions located at 3306 West Kimberly Road, containing 2 commercial lots in Ward 2. And staff recommends the City Planning and Zone Commission accept the listed findings and forward F19-10 to the City Council with recommendation for approval, and I so move. Oh, approval subject to the listed conditions, and I so move.
Case number F19-10 has been moved and seconded for discussion. Matt?
Well, again, not a rezoning, but it's actually falls on the heels of the rezoning at Kimberly and Elsie that went through the system a few months ago. Maybe some of the differences would be that at that time they were anticipating doing a 1-lot subdivision, in essence a replat of the 3 existing lots that are out there, or 4 actually. But they've actually decided to subdivide into 2. Here's the subject property. There's looking straight down, and again, if I have my pointer, we're just stretching this out. Here, this is a property that was actually rezoned from I believe it was R3 to now C2, the commercial corridor. So here's the existing zoning. So we've taken the C2 corridor commercial along the, get this, Kimberly Road corridor. This is actually zone C3, which is the more general commercial. It just shows, kind of outlines the configuration of the 2 lots. We still understand there may be a car wash interested in lot 1. It would take access from Elsie. What you see down here in the yellow, if you remember in the rezoning, there was a condition that the developer dedicate right-of-way to the state if deemed necessary, and it was. So that's shown, and that dedication will occur as part of the plat. So there's a couple findings. It's consistent with the comp plan, consistent with the subdivision regulations, and we just want to make sure that the condition to include that easement language is included on the plat. So with that, happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Lammers? Well, I just thought you've been consistent tonight. I thought for sure we needed something from you. Can you please turn on your microphone, Commissioner Lammers?
Please go back to where it referred to C3. Lot 3. There was on your conditions. Can you go to your conditions one more time, please? There we go. That a note shall be added to the plat granting a blanket easement for access to Lot 3. So when it refers to Lot 3, if we're just going to 2 lots, is Lot 3 absorbed into one of those then? And does the language need to reflect that?
Up top, yeah.
So Lot 3 is becoming part of Lot 2?
Disclosure, this was Scott's case, and he was sick today, and I missed that there was actually a third lot.
Okay.
So there's the third lot, and it's reserved for stormwater detention.
Thank God.
We just missed.
Never saw this slide.
Any additional questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Schneider,
Yes.
Lammers,
Yes.
Med,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Tallman, yes, Hepner,
Yes.
and Bransgard.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. That would conclude subdivision activity. We have one future business that I will be attending the neighborhood meeting on down at the Fairmont Cemetery. Assuming there are no communications from the vast crowd, do we have any other business? The left side's been a little quiet tonight. Almost non-existent.
Again, I personally appreciate you coming down to City Hall and participating in your government. I know it was a short meeting. Those will happen, but I think we'll get, particularly when we get into the next batch of zoning, we'll make you think and work harder.
Miss a meeting like this.
And you'll be serving hors d'oeuvres at the bigger meetings?
If you're buying.
Sure, why not? Any additional business? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are officially adjourned. Please drive home safely.